show, guys and girls. I'll be leaving the floor mainly to be managed by Sir Apple. He is the owner of Gateways to Canada, and I mentioned and told you guys naman na yung page natin, it was started by Sir Apple. He's a very great guy, very great agency. I can assure you, itong agency na to, hindi ito mukhang pera. Okay, kasi yun ang iniisip ng karamihan pag may agent, kaya humahatawang DIY eh. I can't blame you, but you have to understand this is still a business or an industry that really takes care of your future. And if you want to make sure that you're investing the right way and your future is established, my introduction is mainly to encourage you guys to really listen, find a good resource kasi ang dami pong resource ngayon eh. Nababahala ako personally sa nakikita natin online na hindi garantiya o hindi tama yung resource na pinanggagalingan. That's scary. Para kang parang nangyayari talaga social media ngayon is bagong tambayan ng mga chismosa. Okay? So mag-ingat tayo sa nakikita natin online. There's nothing wrong with looking at it with a grain of salt, but we organized this event in partnership with the Gateway to Canada because number one, they're really one of our reliable partners at CNC in terms of not only student visa, but they are licensed migration specialists. Hindi po ako lisensyado, so wala akong karapatang magsalita about it. Sila po lisensyado, they know what they're talking about, and talagang hinahanap sila ng Canada to talk about these kinds of things. So swerte tayo, this is free. Usually bayad to. Okay, so this is free. So ask anything, and the good thing about this program po is we are focusing specifically for CNC students and for Prince George as the migration destination. So hindi kayo mako-confuse na bakit sa Ontario ganyan, bakit sa Vancouver ganyan. Dito specifically for Prince George po talaga tayo. Makaka-focus kayo, mas mapapersonalize kahit pa paano yung mga need ninyo. So the keyword here is I hope you guys will consider eventually professionalizing your plans to migrate. Kasi nandyan na kayo, you're halfway there, baka mabitin pa. Things changes every now and then. So the fact na nakapagsimula kayo, let's end your journey with a bang by finding the right partner and having the right information to continue your journey to Canada. Okay? So si Sir Apple na magdi-discuss ng other things. If you have questions, probably later na lang di-discuss ni Sir Apple. Tama po ba?
Yeah.
Alright. So yan. Yun lang naman po. And yeah, take note. Magsulat lang po yung mga hindi makaka-attend. Sir Apple will just post kung kailangan. It's up to him. And if you want to get consultation, that's his company. You can also just tag him at our Facebook page. Open naman siya. Kahit sinong agent nyo ngayon, walang problema sa kanya. Pag-usapan nyo, hindi po sila magkakaaway dito. We all work together with one agenda. Huwag kayong mahiya. Hindi, kung seloso ang agent nyo, problema nila yun. Hindi naman tayo nag-aaway-aaway rito. So that's a good thing about this. It's all about the journey of elevating the Filipinos in Canada. So Sir Apple, thank you very much again to this opportunity. I bring the floor back to you.
Thanks, Sir Jella. All right. Okay. Where shall I start? Okay, I'd like to start by talking a little bit about Gateway to Canada. Clarification first. We are not a recruitment agency. Minsan may mga naliligaw pa rin thinking na we are a recruitment agency able to help them find employer in Canada. We don't do that. We are not registered sa POEA, kaya we are not allowed to do that. But more than an education agent, we are an immigration consultancy firm with over 30 years of experience doing this. We've been sending Filipinos to Canada since 1989. We are part of Canadian Immigration Consultancy. Our operation started sa Taipei, Taiwan noong 1999, pero ang Philippine operation nag-start yan noong 1993. And as they say, the rest is history because right now, we have thousands of clients in Canada enjoying a quality life right now. No? And when it comes to student visa application, our admission team is actually headed by Ms. Tin Baez. She is a Canada course graduate for education agents. We are an ISEF recognized agency, and our clients are represented by registered Canadian immigration consultant. There's the registration number there. You can validate that number, search nyo sa ICCRC website. Our representative is Miss Christina Camarce. So why I'm trying to differentiate ourselves from an education agency is because it's true that an education agent will be able to help you connect with schools, help you with the admission application, but they are not in the position to guide you with your immigration plan. Now, una, they are not allowed. They don't have the experience. Kaya the most that they can do is help you with the admission application and sometimes visa application. Technically, they're not even allowed to do visa application assistance kasi under the rules, um, once you can hire a paid representative as long as they are authorized. Ang authorized representative lang na paid immigration representatives are those immigration lawyers or those who are member ng ICCRC. Kung wala silang ganitong credentials, they are not allowed to represent you for purposes of visa application. So what normally happens if you hire an education agent and they assist you with your student visa application, they do not usually use yung form na representative form. Uh, it will appear that you are doing this on your own because they cannot disclose that you hired somebody to represent you na hindi authorized. Unfortunately, that is the reality na nangyayari sa industry. No? May mga na-approve naman. In fact, may mga nag-a-apply directly na approve din naman. In the same manner, may mga nag-a-apply na dumadaan sa mga lawyers and consultants na hindi rin naman nagiging successful yung application. So, we do not guarantee approval ng application po ninyo. The most that we can do is help you increase your chances of approval. Right? Now, before we accept a case, before we sign up a client, we make sure that our clients are making an informed decision. So sa initial talks pa lang, we emphasize that if your goal is to immigrate sa Canada, be informed that studying in Canada is not a guarantee that you will become a permanent resident. It's not automatic, it's not guaranteed. No? So kaya mahalaga na kung ang goal mo sa pag-apply ng student visa ay mag-migrate sa Canada, dapat dito pa lang nakaplansya na yung magiging pathway mo, paano ka magiging PR. There are more than 60 pathways para maging permanent resident ka sa Canada. So, crucial yung pagpili ng program, yung pagpili ng school, pagpili ng cities, ng province, because lahat ito may direct and indirect effect doon sa plan mo na maging permanent resident. Right? Hindi mandatory requirement na mag-hire ka ng consulting firms or immigration lawyer. All the information about visa application is actually available for free. You just need to visit canada.ca. The difference is that if this is your first time to do this, you are more susceptible to commit mistakes. And small mistakes may cause huge problems. The advantage you have if you hire us or licensed immigration consultant is that you can bank on dun sa experience namin. Lalo na sa case namin, we've been doing this for over 3 decades. We cannot guarantee approval of your application, but one thing is certain, we can help you increase your chances through proper documentation. Pero if you feel kaya niyo siyang gawin mag-isa, by all means do it. Ang mahalaga lang is that informed yung decision niyo. Typically, paano ba nangyayari kapag gagawin mo to on your own? So makikita mo yung checklist, kukompletohin mo yung requirements based doon sa nakita mong checklist, and then isasubmit mo na siya. No? Unlike kung sa amin yan, dumadaan siya sa series of checking bago pa namin siya finally isubmit sa visa office. Minsan, na-check na ng client na-check na ng documentation specialist. Pagdating sa QA, may mga nakikita pa rin na discrepancies, wrong information, lacking documents. So bumabalik siya sa drawing board. So dumadaan siya sa series ng checking. So we cannot guarantee approval ng application, but one thing is certain, mapapataas namin yung chances. No? Why is this important? For example, just recently, actually kahapon lang, may kausap ako, DIY din, nakagraduate na, nag-apply ng post-graduation work permit, may trabaho naman na eligible, uh, kasama sa application niya yung kanyang spouse and anak. Right? So na-approve yung post-graduation work permit niya, na-approve yung study permit ng anak niya, pero na-refuse yung open work permit ng asawa. So why did that happen? Meron kasi yung open work permit ng spouse, pwede lang siyang ma-extend. No? Pwede lang siyang ma-extend kung yung international student graduate applying for PGWP ay merong trabaho na ang job classification ay NOC 0A or B. So in this particular case, yung student ay merong trabaho as an admin assistant. Eligible occupation siya. No? This is NOC B. So, nagtataka sila ngayon, bakit na-refuse yung spouse? So, upon checking ng information documents na sinubmit nila, it turned out na hindi siya nag-submit ng employment certificate niya with job description. Sinubmit niya lang is yung certificate of employment, nandoon yung position, nandoon yung salary, no? Pero walang job description. Unfortunately, hindi enough yun, no? Hindi enough na mag-merit na i-classify siya na talagang ang work experience niya ay eligible. So kailangan makita yung job description. So ang argument nung nung nag-apply na yun is that wala namang nakalagay doon sa field na pag-uploadan na mag-upload na dapat ng job description, no? Medyo may mga na-miss siya na details. So nag-apply siya ng student visa on their own, na-approve. So nag-apply siya ng open work permit para sa spouse na refuse. So actually, nag-apply pa rin siya directly. Upon advice, ang sabi na lang namin is that you just need to resubmit your application. Ang kailangan mo lang idagdag basically is yung job description. No? So in process na ulit yung application. It is what I'm referring to earlier na small mistakes may cause huge problem. So, problema doon is gastos. So, since expired na yung work permit niya, kailangan niyang mag-apply pa ng restoration, that's additional fee, magbabayad ulit siya ng visa fee, so that's another 255 with open work permit. So, magastos, magkamali. No? But then again, ang mahalaga is that you are doing an informed decision, right? So I cannot emphasize this more than enough. Studying in Canada is not a guarantee that you will become a permanent resident. Kaya dapat paplanuhin niyo siyang maigi. Right? So before we talk about yung different pathways na specifically applicable sa Prince George, British Columbia, let me just show you how a student visa pathway to PR really works. No? May mga nakita ako sa registration na exploring pa lang yung option, nagpa-process pa lang ng LOA, in process pa lang yung visa, and then some others ay nasa Canada na. No? Now, if the goal is to study, to immigrate, ideally, you should get a 2-year program. Yes, mas mahal, pero mas makakatulong sa goal niyo na maging permanent resident kung 2-year yung program ninyo. It is because the rule is that you will be issued a post-graduation work permit for a period equivalent to the length of your studies. If you studied only for 1 year, then you will only be given 1 year post-graduation work permit. If you studied for 2 years, usually you'll be given 3 years. Technically, should be a minimum of 2, pero based doon sa experience namin, wala pa kaming applicants na binigyan na kumuha ng 2-year program na 2 years lang yung binigay. Laging 3 years yung binibigay. No? So as an international student, entitled ka sa maraming benefits. You can work part-time while studying. You can work full-time during school breaks. And then yung school-age kids, they can study for free from kinder hanggang grade 12 kahit hindi ka pa permanent resident. Entitled na kayo dun sa ganitong benefits. In fact, kahit hindi pa kayo permanent resident, yung mga anak ninyo, after 18 months, no, that's 1.5 year, na nag-stay sa Canada, entitled na rin sila doon sa monthly child tax benefits. Simply put, monthly allowance para sa mga bata. It ranges from 500 to 800, sometimes 900 Canadian dollars per month. No? Kahit hindi pa kayo permanent resident. Basta 18 months na nag-stay yung bata sa Canada, magsisimula na yung monthly allowance para sa mga bata. Hindi siya automatic na ibibigay sa inyo. No? You need to file for it. You need to apply for it. And kapag nakita nila na na-meet yung criteria, then mag-uumpisa na yung monthly allowance para sa mga bata. On top, doon sa fact na libre yung education nila for kinder hanggang grade 12. Yung asawa mo naman, pwedeng mag-aral, magtrabaho full-time. And yung work permit niya is coterminous doon sa study permit mo. Again, pag nag-apply ka ng post-graduation work permit, pwede ring mag-apply ng extension ng open work permit yung spouse mo as long as merong kang trabaho or at least a job offer na yung trabaho ay classified NOC, OA, and B. One scenario, nakagraduate ka, wala ka pang job offer, malapit nang mag-expire yung study permit mo and of course yung work permit din ng spouse mo, so kailangan mo nang mag-apply ng post-graduation work permit. So in that case, yung anak mo pwedeng ma-extend yung study permit pero yung spouse hindi siya mabibigyan ng open work permit. So doon sa scenario na sinasabi ko ngayon, ang i-apply mo ngayon doon is visitor record. No? So i-apply mo muna ng visitor record ng iyong spouse. So nabigyan ka ng post-graduation work permit, nagkaroon ka ng trabaho na eligible, at that point, tsaka mo i-apply yung open work permit ng spouse. Okay? During the time na visitor record yung hawak ng spouse, hindi siya allowed magtrabaho. Okay? I hope that's clear, no? So, kaya mahalaga na i-maximize yung time na habang nag-aaral pa lang yung isa, yung isang scenario na pwedeng mangyari, pwede ka nang mag-apply ng PR through your spouse. For example, nag-qualified yung spouse kasi may open work permit, nakahanap ng permanent and full-time employment, nagustuhan siya ng employer, binigyan siya ng trabaho na permanent, or nakagain siya ng 1 year na experience, pwede na siyang mag-qualified in any of the PR programs, which I will discuss later. So, it is quite possible na habang nag-aaral ka pa lang, ongoing na yung PR application. If you know what you're doing. Okay? So, hindi lahat ay applicable ito sa lahat ng provinces. For example, sa British Columbia, ang open work permit holder, pwede siyang mag-apply sa provincial nominee programs ng British Columbia. Sa province ng Alberta, where Calgary and Edmonton is, yung open work permit holder hindi allowed mag-apply sa Alberta Provincial Nominee Program. So pwede lang siyang mag-qualified yung open work permit holder sa express entry. Okay? So may advantage kung nasa Alberta, right? Pero laging may mga pros and cons siya, no? So I'm just saying na if you know what you're doing, pwede mong ma-maximize, ma-expedite yung process ng pagiging PR. Okay? So, nakagraduate ka, meron kang 3 years na post-graduation work permit, gagamitin mo ito ngayong period na ito to gain yung 1 year work experience which will make you eligible for PR application. Okay? So, yan yung process. Kaya, as you will notice, sa pagpili pa lang ng province, may significance na ito doon sa goal mo na maging permanent resident. Why go to Alberta? Kung na hindi pwedeng mag-apply ng provincial nominee program yung spouse, pero sa BC pala, sa British Columbia ay pwede. Alright? Pero if you're single, may konting advantage naman kung sa Alberta ka. No? Kasi pagka-graduate mo, mas madali yung PR application mo na meron ding similar program sa BC. All I'm saying is, Iba't ibang province, iba't ibang city sometimes. Sometimes same province, magkaibang city, magkaiba ng immigration programs. May mga iba't ibang opportunities. Right? I'm just trying to show you yung concept ng student visa pathway to PR. Pero paano ka ba talaga magiging permanent resident? These are the key immigration factors. The design of Canada's immigration program right now is basically they prioritize those with Canadian education credential, those with Canadian work experience, and those with permanent and full-time employment or job offer. Naturally, as an international student graduate, mas madali mong makukuha yan. Right? Nakadesign yan talaga to favor yung mga international student. Before 2015, more than 95% ng cases we processed are direct immigration. Right? Nung inintroduce nila nung 2015, yung express entry, nag-umpisang mabaliktad yan. Right now, more than 90% ng clients namin is student visa na. Kokonti na yung direct immigration from the Philippines. Uh, mostly, ang entry is as a student. Right? So, kung mag-aaral ka sa Canada with the goal in mind na maging permanent resident, then you are on the right track. No? Kasi yan yung design ng immigration programs right now. And they continuously create programs, methods, means para mapadali yung transition ng mga international student graduate para maging PR. So, very soon, meron silang ilalabas ulit na bagong programs or policies affecting yung international student with the end in view na mapadali yung transition para maging permanent resident. They're doing this because for the next 3 years, starting this year, Canada's target for immigration, they are looking at 1.2 million new immigrants, 400,000 new immigrants each year for the next 3 years. So yan yung goal niya. So bakit open ang Canada for immigration? Because they have this projection that few years from now, they will be facing serious labor shortage problem because of Canada's aging population and slow population growth. So magsasuffer yung economy kung magkakaroon sila ng labor shortage problem. And ang solution nila dyan is yung immigration. And pinakamadali na mag-transition para maging permanent resident, mga international student. No? So very timely kung papasok kayo sa Canada as international student. So kung sa College of New Caledonia ka papasok, these are basically the immigration programs na pwede sa'yo. Express entry, BCPNP Skills Migration Stream, BCPNP Express Entry Stream. I-explain ko ito isa-isa. Right? So sa express entry, express entry is not a program. I need to clarify that. Express entry is the system being used to manage different federal immigration programs. Ano-ano itong mga federal immigration programs na ito? Kasama dyan yung Federal Skilled Workers Class. Ang target ng Federal Skilled Workers Class, yung mga outside Canada. Right? Kasama din sa minamanage under Express Entry, yung Canadian Experience Class. Ito yung stream na pwede kayong mag-qualify as international student graduate. Ang kailangan mo lang, makakuha ka ng IELTS, general training, na walang mababa sa 6. Or CELPIP, general training, na walang mababa sa 7. Right? So yan yung minimum requirement para mag-qualify ka sa Express Entry. And you also need to process your education credential assessment for your degree obtained from Philippines. Okay? So, ang suggestion namin sa mga clients namin, bago ka umalis, papuntang Canada, i-process mo na ang iyong education credential assessment. Mas mahirap kasing i-process yan kung nandoon ka na sa Canada. Education credential assessment is basically, the objective is to determine yung equivalent ng credentials mo from the Philippines compared sa Canadian educational system. The process would require you to create account online doon sa mga designated na institutions and then print yung request form, pupunta ka sa school para dalhin yung request form. Basically, yung form na yon ay requesting na ipadala nila yung yung transcript of records in a sealed envelope, no? At kasama ng transcript mo yung request form. So it's either yung school magpadala sa Canada, sa West for example, or ibigay sa iyo ng school yung sealed envelope at ikaw yung magpadala directly sa Canada. So yun yung education credential assessment. Imagine kung nasa Canada ka na, wala ka pang education credential assessment, sino yung papupuntahin mo sa school, right? So mag-authorize ka pa, yung ibang school, maarte, kailangan pa ng SPA, etc. So kung alam mo yung ginagawa mo, magiging madali ito para sa'yo. Pero kung pumunta ka sa Canada nang hindi ka aware, hindi mo alam kung ano yung mga dapat mong i-prepare, that becomes a problem. So magpapanik ka, may stress, you will commit mistakes. Alright? So this is the importance kung guided ka doon sa ginagawa mo. Alright? We've been doing this for over 30 years already. So you can bank on doon sa experience namin. So pinakamalaga, para mag-qualify ka sa Express Entry as an international student graduate, meron kang 1-year Canadian work experience. Ng classification ay NOC 0, A, or B. Ano ba itong classification na ito? Meron itong sa HRSDC, no? Meron siyang job classification na how shall I explain this easier? Okay, for example, sa accounting, okay? Yung accounting clerk, hindi siya eligible na work experience for purposes ng Canadian experience. Kasi accounting clerk is NOC C, I think, no? Or D. So hindi siya kasama dun sa eligible na experience. Pero kung ang work experience mo ay bookkeeper, okay, that is skill level P. So yung 1 year na experience mo as bookkeeper, qualified siya. Kung ang experience mo naman ay accountant, that is NOCA. Okay? Yun yung skill level niya. Pero kung ikaw ay accounting manager or financial manager, then that is NOC 0. Yung 0 is job classification for managerial jobs. So yung 1 year na Canadian work experience mo, dapat classified as an NOC, O, A, or B. Pinaka-common ngayon sa experience namin, admin assistant. Ang dami namin clients naging permanent resident pagka-graduate, nakakuha ng trabaho as an admin assistant, secretary, naging PR. Okay? Because admin assistant is NOCB. Right? So qualified siya na position. Kaya yung mga clients namin, before they accept a job offer, kadalasan nagko-communicate sa amin, Sir, pasok ba itong trabaho na ito? May PR ba ito? Right? So we tell them na yes or no. Minsan kahit hindi, depende doon sa circumstances, our advice is tanggapin mo kasi may progression. Alright? So pwede kang maging supervisor, etc. So depende doon sa situation. And these are the kind of assistance that we provide our clients. Our assistance is mula sa admission, visa application hanggang sa PR. Application ng post-graduation work permit, extension ng work permit, no? Study permit, nomination application, we do that. Everything is being done online, so hindi siya problem kung nandoon kayo sa Canada at yung team namin ay nandito sa Philippines. Right? So, BCPNP skills migration, how does it work? So maraming streams yung BCPNP skills migration. Merong skilled worker. Ang kailangan mo dito ay permanent and full-time employment. Now, balik muna ako dun sa Express Entry because this is important. Nag-aaral ka, yung spouse mo, pwedeng mag-apply sa Express Entry. Kaya nga, sa handling namin ng clients, we analyze muna yung mga cases. Sino ba yung dapat mag-aral? Alright? Kung yung isa sa inyo ay may potential na mag-apply kaagad ng PR, hindi dapat siya yung mag-aral. So yung isa yung mag-aaral. Kasi the goal is to become a permanent resident, right? So habang nag-aaral yung isa, dahil may potential yung husband, for example, na maging PR, siya yung may open work permit. Kasi ang kailangan niya lang is 1-year Canadian work experience. So pag gain niya na yung 1-year Canadian experience, pwede siyang mag-apply sa Express Entry. Or pwede rin siyang mag-apply dito sa BCPNP, Skills Migration, habang nag-aaral ka pa lang. Okay? So ang kailangan niya lang naman ay meron siyang qualification, ma-meet niya yung eligibility requirement sa ganitong mga streams. So 4 yung available dyan. Actually, 5 yan, kaya lang matatapos na yung isa ngayon June 2021. So ito na lang yung available. So skilled worker, ang kailangan mo dito ay permanent and full-time job offer. Na ang job classification ay O, A, and B. And dapat meron kang 2 years na related work experience dun sa job offer. May job offer ka, pero wala kang experience sa position na yon, kailangan mo munang mag-gain ng 2 years na experience bago ka mag-qualify. Ang pinakabago sa BCPNP, yung international graduate. Dati-rate sa BCPNP, pwede ka lang mag-apply as international student graduate kung ang natapos mo is graduate studies like master's degree, PhD, yun lang. Pero in-introduce nila to just recently, yung international student graduate. So kahit graduate ka sa mga colleges, minimum 2 years, diploma or graduate programs, pwede yun. Hindi mo kailangan ng 1 year experience at least. Hindi mo kailangan ng experience. Ang kailangan mo lang ay job offer. Okay? Kahit wala kang 2 years or 1 year na experience. So yan yung kailangan. Alright? So for international student graduates team sa BCPNP, hindi required ang work experience. Ang kailangan mo lang ay permanent and full-time employment. So nag-aaral yung wife, si husband nakakuha ng permanent and full-time employment. By all means, process na yung PR application. So healthcare professional works pretty much the same, pero this is targeted doon sa mga merong job offer mula sa mga public health authority, mga healthcare professionals, physician, nurse, but you know, in order to work sa mga ganitong field, dapat registered ka, licensed ka sa Canada. Okay? So kung hindi ka pa registered nurse sa Canada, hindi ka magpo-qualify dyan. So isang scenario din, nag-aaral ka, parehas kayong nurse for example, pwedeng habang nasa Canada, nag-aaral ka, nagtatrabaho yung isa, pwede nyo nang simulan yung assessment. No? Kung eligible ba kayo mag-take ng exam. No? So pwede kayong mag-qualify dyan. So entry-level and semi-skilled worker, this is the easiest actually. Ang kailangan mo lang, meron kang permanent and full-time employment, hindi necessarily yung NOC OAB, as long as yung job offer mo ay related sa tourism, hospitality, long-haul trucking, and food processing industry. Meron kaming client, registered nurse yung nag-aral, and then yung asawa, architecture graduate dito sa Philippines, tapos hindi siya licensed. Ang experience niya, puro self-employment, buy and sell and all that stuff. No? Pagdating sa Canada, yung spouse, yung husband, may open work permit, nakakuha ng trabaho as a general laborer sa food manufacturing business sa British Columbia. Naging permanent resident sila, hindi dahil dun sa nurse. Yung nurse kasi nag-aaral pa lang. Pero itong open work permit holder, binigyan ng permanent and full-time employer na offer ng kanyang employer na i-process namin yung kanyang PR through BCPNP. So siya yung naging principal applicant sa PR. Alright? So yung wife niya naman ngayon ay registered nurse na rin sa Canada. Okay? So ang mahalaga lang is, sabi ko nga, you know what you're doing. So kung hindi nyo ito alam, hindi nyo mapaplanong maigi kung sino ba yung mag-aaral sa inyo, paano kayo magiging PR. Yan yung common experience ng mga nag-a-apply direct or yung mga dumadaan sa mga education agent because these things are not being discussed at that stage. So pagdating sa Canada, usually ang nangyayari is that napipilitan silang mag-hire ngayon ng mga immigration lawyers which charges by the hour. Alright? So, or yung iba, may nagre-refer sa amin na mga classmates nila, so na-assist namin. Alright? So, we provide assistance from end to end. Okay. So, ang kaibahan naman ng BCPNP Express Entry Stream is that ang kailangan lang is same requirement doon sa same requirements dito. Ang kailangan lang dito, meron kang Express Entry Profile. So, may Express Entry Profile ka, hindi ka ma-invite kasi mababa lang yung score mo. Pero actually ngayon, halos hindi na ito kailangan dahil yung recent experience namin, simula nung nag-invite sila, if you're familiar with Express Entry, ang score na ini-invite nila is 460 points pataas. But few months ago, they invited applicants sa express entry pool na ang CRS score is as low as 75 points. No? As long as meron kang 1-year Canadian experience, kahit mababa yung score mo, pwede kang ma-invite sa express entry. Right? So yan yung experience namin. And after that draw, halos lahat ng i-create namin na express entry profile, immediately nakakatanggap ng invitation. So mukhang talagang serious sila na i-convert sa PR yung mga international student graduate. Ang advantage naman nito is that kapag na-nominate ka dito sa BCPNP Express Entry Stream, let's say ang score mo lang ay 300, you will gain 600 points. So magiging 900 points ka. So sa next draw, definitely kasama ka na. Right? So yan yung BCPNP Express Entry. Right? This is an actual case. Actually, screenshot ito mula dun sa system namin. No? Sa system namin, actually, naka-record lahat yan ng information ng mga clients namin. And then, pati yung mga dates. Kung kailan mag-expired yung passport mo, kapag malapit na yung mag-expired, meron yung system notification from us advising the applicant to renew the passport. Same thing dun sa IELTS, no? Sa sa study permit, kung malapit na mag-expire yan, may nagti-trigger sa system namin to communicate sa client, inform them na kailangan i-renew or mag-apply na ng post-graduation work permit. So this case actually, Sir Dennis to, no? Isa siya sa mga nauna naming, we started sending students sa College of New Caledonia noong 2018 lang. Right? We started communicating with College of New Caledonia dahil yung isa naming client ay may kapatid sa Prince George at gusto doon mag-aral. So we contacted College of New Caledonia. So that was in 2018. So si Sir Dennis actually, isa siya sa mga una naming students. At ngayon ay, as you will see, yung CRS score niya is 945. So pagka-graduate niya, nag-create na kami kaagad ng express entry profile niya. So mababa yung score. So nag-create kami ngayon ng BCPNP International Graduate Stream. So bigla siyang nakatanggap ngayon ng nomination. So yung 345 na score niya, naging 945. And I think for filing na. Kasi nakatanggap na siya ng invitation to apply. Inaayos na lang namin yung ilang mga details. And if I'm not mistaken, for filing na siya this week. So pag na-file namin yan this week, in 6 months or less, meron na silang PR. So na-approve yung student visa niya April 2018. June 4, 2018. Okay? Tapos ang start ng school niya is September 2018. Nakagraduate siya nung I think April or May. And then ini-apply namin ng post-graduation work permit. As you will see, yung post-graduation work permit expiration niya is shorter lang, no? At that is because yung passport expiration niya is hanggang June lang, no? Hindi pwedeng mag-issue ng visa and permit longer than your passport validity. Kaya mas maganda, mag-file kayo ng student visa na mahabang-mahaba pa yung validity ng passport. So kung less than 2 years na yan, dapat i-renew nyo na muna. Kasi kung less than 2 years na lang yung passport ninyo, nag-apply kayo ng visitor's visa, ng student visa, kahit 2 years pa yung program ninyo, yung visa ninyo is hanggang validity lang ng passport. So pagdating sa Canada, you need to renew your passport, gastos din yun, mas mahal, tapos mag-apply ka pa ng extension ng study permit. No? So in this case, meron siyang validity ng hanggang June 7, 2020, 2022. So ang advice namin sa kanya is that kapag hindi pa lumabas yung PR niya, na mag-expire na yung permit niya, mag-apply lang kami ng extension. Allowed siya na mag-apply ng extension. Technically, PGWP, isang application lang siya. Hindi siya pwedeng i-apply ng extension. Pero may dalawang circumstances na pwede kang mag-renew or mag-extend ng PGWP. Una, yung public policy. Because of the pandemic, nagbigay sila ng consideration. No? Dahil sa pandemic, pinapayagan yung ilan na international student graduate na nag-expired yung PGWP na hindi pa PR binibigyan sila ng extension for about 1.5 year, 18 months na extension. These are exceptional circumstances. No? Ang pangalawa is kapag nabigyan ka ng shorter na post-graduation work permit on the basis na shorter yung passport validity mo. No? So in that case, pwede kang mag-apply ng extension. Pero sa case na ito, hindi naman kailangan, I think, na mag-apply pa siya ng extension kasi 6 months from now, lalabas na yung kanyang PR. So dahil planado yung kanyang application, napaka-smooth nung naging transition from student hanggang maging PR. Yung wife niya is nagtatrabaho as pharmacy assistant doon sa Prince George, no? Actually marami sila. Yung first three namin na pinadala noong 2018, lahat sila may invitation to apply na via express entry. Si Sir Dennis lang yung international student graduate. Yung dalawa, magiging PR sila dahil doon sa kanilang spouse. No? Dahil doon sa kanilang spouse. Yung finos ko actually sa group, si Sir Art Alido, yung nasa sa car dealer na nagtatrabaho siya doon. Malapit na rin sila maging PR via express entry. Ang kaibahan lang kay Sir Art is that yung wife niya yung nag-aral. So, there are pathways na pwedeng maging PR kayo sa Prince George. Definitely. Alright? So, kung may mga questions kayo, actually, nasa last part na ako ng stage. Medyo tumagal ako. Pero, I'd like kasi na magkaroon kayo ng informed decision. So, kung may mga questions kayo, please use yung Q&A box. Sasagutin natin yung mga questions po dyan. No? But before that, let me just show you some of our clients. No? Si Miss Dana, actually, tsaka Sir Ajay, pareha silang registered nurse. Hornby Immigration Office sa Vancouver. No? PR na sila. And yung assistance namin sa kanila is hanggang till then. You can validate these feedbacks from client by visiting our Facebook page. You can actually communicate with our clients, send them message. They are pretty responsive. Do your due diligence. No? It's not required to hire the services of an immigration consultancy firm like us, but if you feel you need one, before you do your due diligence. No? Check us out. Visit our Facebook page. No? So si Sir April naman ay comment na naman is that we are very meticulous. That is true actually. Dahil walang personal interview. No? The decision will be based on the documents you will submit. Right? So kung hindi ka agad makita ng visa officer yung mga information and documents na gusto niyang makita, chances are tatama rin siyang i-process. Pag minamalas-malas ka pa, pwedeng ma-refuse yung application. Sasabihin, incomplete data or whatever. No? So we are very detailed. No? Right. Another feedback from Miss Julia is that we are responsive. We try to be. No? Meron kaming parang ombudsman sa office kasi our team are expected to reply sa mga emails within 2 working days. Kapag lumampas yan, may mga nagpupulis sa amin. Kasi we try to be proactive and responsive para at least smooth yung client experience. All right. So if you are interested to hire our services, to avail of our services, all you need to do really is check us out. Visit Gateway to Canada. If you want to find out magkano yung cost of hiring our services, sign up, fill in the form, and then if you want to talk with us, anything about your application, you can always book an appointment. We have several case managers to assist you, and then hindi nyo kailangan pumunta sa office. We can talk over the phone, Viber, no, WhatsApp or Zoom, Skype, whatever means that works for you. So we are pretty open. And I think that's it. No, that is the end of my presentation. If you have questions, I'll be happy to answer your questions right now. Thank you.
I thank you, Sir Apple. Gusto mo ako muna ang yung team ng buhay ngayon.
Sure.
Medyo mahaba yung talk mo but it's very informative. Thank you again, Sir Apple. So, guys, thank you for listening as well. So, Sir Apple will be accepting a few questions right now. May ilan na rito from a few personnel. Yon, type lang kayo ng question and wait. Sige, let's answer some questions muna. Swerte niya, may bayad talagang ganito. Mahal yung ganito eh.
Di man tayo lawyer, so walang charge yan by the hour.
Alright. Si Ira, para kay Marto eh. Si Ira is ano to, soon to be OWP ni Mar Paulo Montejo. Ang tanong ni Ira, this is definitely on behalf of Mar, after graduation, ano ang next na gagawin para magkaroon ng PGWP?
Okay. You need to apply. No? You need to fill out yung form. Ang basic document na kailangan mo ay transcript of records tsaka yung certificate of completion. Okay? As soon as you have those, you can already submit your PGWP application. It's an online application. No? Online application. We provide assistance for that. No? But if you want to do this on your own, then you can visit canada.ca. Nandun naman yung information. Pero comment lang about sa PGWP. No? Technically speaking, and this was explained by the visa officer, immigration officer during one of the workshops that I attended, as soon as you receive your certificate of completion, technically, you should stop working already. Yun yung rule, no? You can only work part-time while you are studying. So, upon completion ng program mo, up to the time na natanggap mo yung certificate of completion, pwede ka pang mag-apply, magtrabaho ng part-time. Pero pag meron ka ng certificate of completion, you should stop working. For example, natanggap mo yung certificate of completion ngayon, tapos same day, sinubmit mo yung PGWP application. Meron ka ng file number immediately. You can actually work full-time. Right? As soon as meron ka ng file number, acknowledgement letter from Immigration Office that your PGWP application is already in process, that allows you to work full-time legally. Hindi lang part-time. No? So pwede kang magtrabaho. Kaya mahalaga na bago ka pa gumraduate, alam mo na kung ano yung mga documents na kailangan mo. And 6 months before, nag-uumpisa na kami magpadala ng letter na ito yung mga kailangan mong i-prepare for your PGWP application. Kaya mabilis namin naisip. Sir Jello.
Okay, thank you sir. Next question from Clarence. Lilipad na to this September. What made you say basically what is really the advantage of being single in applying for PR? Bakit mas advantageous siya?
Okay. This has something to do yung comparison ko kanina doon sa Alberta and British Columbia. No? Kasi yung context niyan is that sa Alberta, yung open work permit holder, hindi siya pwedeng mag-apply ng Alberta Provincial Nominee Program. Right? So, bakit may advantages yung not necessarily single, international student graduates sa Alberta is because most of the immigration programs, provincial nominee programs for international student, ang requirement, merong 1 year na Canadian work experience. Sa Alberta, 6 months. Kaya lang, recently, nag-open naman yung BCPNP, international student, hindi mo kailangan ng experience. Right? So, better pa rin yung British Columbia. So, baka nagkamali lang ako ng choice of words or misunderstanding sa part ng nakinig. Pero wala talagang advantage yung single. In fact, may advantage yung may spouse. Kasi habang nag-aaral pa lang yung isa, yung spouse na may open work permit holder, pwede nang mag-apply ng PR. I hope na sagot ko yung tanong, pero kung medyo malabo pa, you can do a follow-up question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next question, ito galing na kay Mar mismo. Counted po ba yung mga part-time jobs and school break jobs as Canadian work experience even if student status?
That's a very good question, actually. For purposes ng express entry, hindi. For purposes ng express entry application, that doesn't count. Pero, yung this context is while you are studying, no? Yeah, student visa status. So, pero for purposes ng provincial nominee program, yes, that counts. So, yung 1 year experience, bibilangin yung number of hours. So, pag na-complete mo yung requirement, so ano ba, 30 hours per week, no? So, kapag na-complete mo yung requirements for 1 year, so that counts. Pwede po yan. Pero again, sa federal, sa express entry, that is not being considered.
Okay. Mga detalye, sir, ano?
Yeah,
Alright, next question. May ilang pa tayo, sir, ha? But kay
sure.
Clarence again, for express entry, can he utilize his 2018 IELTS score?
No, 2021 na ngayon. IELTS is valid only for
2
2
years.
years.
Okay, so they need to take it there kung
Yes.
kailangan man. Alright.
Yeah.
And added questions, a few more questions from Clarence. What classification does a support worker, carer, and rehab assistant belong to? Kasi kinesiology program si Clarence, sir.
Yung support worker, rehab
Hmm.
assistant, I think it's C. Hindi siya kasama doon sa ano. Pero kung ikaw ay physical therapist, for example, that
Hmm.
qualifies. Kaya lang, it's a regulated profession, so kailangan registered ka rin.
Okay. So paano magiging ano ni Clarence ito, sir? Since kinesiology graduate, after graduating, kailangan magpa-certify muna talaga siya.
Well, may mga trabaho within that field na maaaring hindi mag-require. For example, case in point, meron akong registered nurse na student no, sa British Columbia din. Ang naging trabaho niya naman, clinical secretary, medical secretary. So, yung medical secretary ay eligible occupation. So, habang hinihintay niya pa yung process ng pagiging RN, nagtatrabaho siya as a medical secretary. So, pwede siyang mag-apply ng PR. Pero if you want to work do sa mga regulated profession, kailangan i-process mo rin yan. While you are studying, you can already do that.
Okay.
And this is part of the services that we provide. No? Kung gusto mo maging registered sa ganitong profession, we provide information. So we guide our applicants how to do it.
All right. Thank you, sir. One more question from Clarence. When is the best time to apply for PR while studying and gaining work experience?
As soon as you meet the eligibility, no? As soon as meron kang na-meet na eligibility in any of those immigration programs, file it right away. Pwedeng nag-aaral ka pa lang, pero back home may work experience ka na, qualified ka. So, hindi ka sa Canadian experience magpo-qualify sa Federal Skilled Worker Class. Pero kung ang classification mo is Federal Skilled Worker Class, unlikely na maselect ka kaagad. No? So, hindi siya. Kaya if you're single, wait until you complete your program bago ka mag-apply ng PR.
Okay. Good. Thank you, sir. And ito, kay Ira uli. Okay. Alternate sa akin kanina to, sir, baka meron ka ring chismis, medyo mas updated ka nga sa akin. Are there any news or update that Canada will be closing their borders again by August 2021? Kumbaga, the agenda is baka gusto nilang lumipad ng mas maaga. Baka biglang magsara na naman kasi.
Okay, so yung paglipad ng mas maaga is medyo problematic din yun. Now, let me explain that part first. Prior to pandemic, pwede kang pumunta sa Canada anytime as soon as you've got your visa. It's just that you cannot stay in Canada holding a study permit na hindi ka pumapasok sa school longer than 3 months. No? So kaya pag halimbawa, may visa ka na, let's say ano ba ngayon, April, tapos September yung intake mo. Okay? So papasok ka halimbawa ngayong May. So this is more than 3 months, no? To September. So pwede kang i-admit dati, pero visitor yung classification mo. Hindi ka pa bibigyan ng study permit. Kasi nga, hindi ka pwedeng may study permit nang wala ka sa school longer than 3 months. Alright? So kung gusto mong may study permit kagad, dapat 3 months, yun yung earliest na pwede kang lumipad. But that changed dramatically dahil dito sa pandemic. Okay? Meron kami na monitor going to a different school coming from Cebu. Yung connecting, nakaalis siya dito sa Philippines. Ang connecting flight niya from Qatar to Toronto, sa Qatar, na-hold siya. Hindi siya pinasakay ng eroplano going to Canada, bumalik siya ng Pilipinas. Ang basis ng mga officers doon, upon confirmation daw sa immigration borders ng Canada, is that it's too early. Pero yun ay 2 months before. 2 months before, no? So ngayon, meron kami, dahil meron ganung experience, meron kaming client na kinabahan dahil Qatar din, Singapore naman siya, connecting flight niya rin Qatar, siya naman ay mga 1 month and 2 weeks
Okay.
before yung ano, yung intake. So kinakabahan sila. So habang ano nga nasa airport, every time na makakalampas sila sa mga check-in counters, minomonitor namin siya, no? Hindi naman siya nagkaroon ng problem. So I had a meeting with an immigration officer during the Edo Canada event. So nag-book ako ng appointment. So sinabi ko, nag-contact ako sa Canada Border Service Agency, kung ano talaga yung rule, naghahanap ako ng official policy kasi wala sa kanilang website. So
Yeah.
I was forwarded sa immigration. So nag-book ako ng appointment sa immigration. Uh, Sinabi niya rin na wala talagang clear-cut policy pero ang sinasuggest niya is mga 1 month.
Okay, yeah.
So ngayon, going back dun sa second part ng question is magkakaroon ba ng restriction ulit? Wala pa namang official, no? So we will be going by the official, ano. Marami nag-speculate like that, pero hangga't walang official policy, wala naman tayong na talaga, no? And kung magkakaroon man, hindi mo rin naman option na lumipad ng mas maaga kasi nga sasabihin sa'yo, it's too early.
Yeah.
Tsaka may mga disadvantages kung pupunta ka ng mas maaga. For one, nagre-rent ka na kaagad. Yun ay kung magre-rent ka. No? Kung may kamag-anak ka, that's a different story. Pero as it is, medyo hindi siya advisable na lumipad ka ng mas maaga. Actually, maraming kinakabahan dyan kasi nga baka mag-close ulit yung borders. Kaya there's nothing we can do. At kung mag-close man yung border, pwede mo namang i-take online yung class.
Yep.
Right? So, there. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yeah. Thank you, Sir Apple.
And then yung sa part-time, kasi ang iba, ang gusto nilang pumunta ng mas maaga para makapagtrabaho ka agad. Right?
Tama
That doesn't work as well. You can only start working kapag nag-start na yung class. Pero yung open work permit holder, pwede. Yung student, however, hindi siya pwedeng magtrabaho hanggat hindi pa nag-start yung class. Right? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So yun guys, I think nakita niyo yung I'd like to emphasize the importance of having a professional agent talaga. Kasi nakita niyo sila talaga, they can go direct to the right people to communicate specific concerns. So etong yung mga adjustments sa entry, it really changes every now and then. Yun nga, walang clear-cut policies, but you have to understand we have to follow some protocols and policies talaga. So yun, nakita niyo yung advantage niyan. For Ira, yun, hindi nga natin masasabi, tama sagot ni Sir Apple. We have to play it by ear. Since I think May naman papasok si Mar, o May pala. So May, June, July, next month na pala, mag-online class pa naman siya rito. Tignan na lang muna natin. Sa nangyayari ngayon sa mundo, the pandemic is too unpredictable. We won't know what's gonna happen. Let's just pray na hindi na magsara ulit ang mga borders.
Yeah.
Yun na lang talaga. Wala tayong control sa part na yan. We're just hoping for the best. Mas importante, tuloy na si Mar. Yun na lang muna.
Yun lang.
Thank you, Sir Apple. Maganda yung feedback mo. Ito, next question from Jason Bagakay. Nandito to ngayon sa Canada, kakadating lang. Ito, hello sir, I'm currently an international student. Will graduate after 2 years. Can I start applying for PGWP or PR after 1 year of my education with 1 year work experience?
Okay. One time lang yung PGWP application. So if you're taking, dalawang 1-year program, kaya pwede
isang 2 years lang to. I think business siya or web and graphic.
Okay, you cannot apply for PGWP hanggat wala kang diploma. But yung second part is, can you apply for PR? Yes, as long as you meet yung eligibility. Right? Pero like I've said, kung ikaw yung magiging principal applicant as international student, it is best to wait until you graduate and gain 1 year experience before you apply for PR. Kailangan makagraduate ka muna. There's no shortcut really. So, pero kung may spouse ka na kasama, then pwede siyang mag-apply ng PR kagad.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Jason, sana sagot yung tanong mo. And hope you're doing well there, ha? Nagko-quarantine ka pa yata. Next question from Ma'am Christine. Till when lang po pwede mag-apply for OWP? Ito kasi iba-iba ang strategy ng bawat agent eh. Gusto ko malaman yung since ikaw ang number 1 sa migration, sir. Anong strategy niyo rito?
Ano ba yung context?
Let's say siya ang student, 2-year program, can she apply for her spouse after 1 year or mas okay ba na sabay? Yan.
uh, Coming mismo from immigration officer that we've talked with, mas gusto nila na sabay yung application.
Mm.
Mas gusto nila. Lalo na nga, kasi ang ano yan, ang explanation sa akin, I mean, this is explained directly to me, no? Kausap po yung taga Manila Vision, this office. Ang sabi niya kasi is that kapag ang student ay nag-apply na merong kasamang dependents, ang focus ng evaluation nila sa student. Right? Kaya almost always, kapag approve yung student, approve din yung spouse and kids. Very limited lang, I mean, extreme cases yung nare-recuse lang yung spouse kapag kasabay. For example, may fraud, misrepresentation yung spouse, definitely marirefuse yun. But not necessarily yung student. Or kinu-question yung relationship, meaning less than a year pa lang silang kasal at the time ng application, pwede nilang isipin na kaya lang kayo nagpakasal is for this application. So kung hindi nyo masubstantiate yung relationship through documentation, pwedeng i-refuse din yung open work permit. Other than that, almost always, kapag approve yung student, approve din yung spouse. Ngayon, ito yung scenario. Nag-apply ka ng student visa na approve after 1 year or few months after. Kung ang question is kailan mo siya pwedeng i-apply, anytime you want, really. Yung iba nga, hindi pa umaalis, ini-apply na yung open work permit. So they end up going together pa rin. Ang problema sa ganung approach is that kapag nag-apply ng open work permit na independent yung spouse, ang focus ngayon nasa kanya. I-scrutinize yung economic ties niya, yung home ties niya, yung employment prospect, etc. Mas palaki yung chance na ma-refuse. Right? So, kaya ang suggestion is isabay siya sa application. May iba kasing pagtingin dyan na sasabihin walang ties, walang maiiwan, etc. That's not true really. Depende pa rin yan. And wala kaming ganyang case na iniiwan yung spouse. Lahat kasabay.
Alright.
Kasi allowed naman siya under the rules.
Good point, sir. Anything to add pa, sir? Yun po yun?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Alright. Anything else? Question pa po. Naubos natin lahat ng question. You're welcome, Christine. That's a good point, sir. Actually, nagiging iba-iba ang opinion ng bawat agent dyan sa mga naging partner ko. Iba-iba yung sinasabi.
Mm-hmm.
Pero yun nga, ito yung dapat maintindihan din ng bawat applicant here. Siyempre, iba't ibang agency kayo. Iba-ibang expertise ng bawat agent. Walang tama't walang mali sasabihin natin. But tignan nyo na lang siguro nasa ng expertise ng isang agency. Yun na lang siguro. For me, I like what Sir Apple mentioned. Hindi dahil siya ang kaharap ko, pero expertise niya kasi yan. Okay? So, take note po. I'm sure mayroon dito may mga mag-OWP. Yung iba, hiwala yung application, nandyan na yan. Just do your best. Yung mga mag-a-apply pa lang, do consider it just Sir Apple kung paano nyo i-approach. Okay? Ito, may dagdag pa pala, sir. Okay pa tayo? Last two questions siguro.
Yeah.
Clarence, prior to studying kinesiology and CNC, what jobs should I focus to be classified in A or B?
Medyo malabi yung context na prior to studying kinesiology.
Oo nga, Clarence.
Yeah, what exactly does that mean? I mean,
sige, Clarence, can you rephrase na lang your question para maitanat Sir Apple? We'll take your question as the last one. Sige po, park na natin muna ito. From Joanna Marie de la Cruz. Follow-up question po sa OWP application. What is kaka-approve at lang po ng visa then mag-apply po si OWP? Okay. So ito yung ata sinasabi ko, sir, na nauna na-approve yung student then OWP ang next. Hindi po ba misinterpretation pag ginawang home tie si OWP po? Well, mabasa mo naman, sir, no? Confusing.
Yeah, binuksan ko ngayon. Now, yung depende kasi doon sa presentation mo, no? Halimbawa, sinabi mo na iniwan mo yung spouse mo kasi meron hindi yun yung plano mo, may mga gagawin siya, hindi siya makapag-apply, etc. And that is your proof na may babalikan ka sa Philippines. Tapos, immediately after approval, nag-apply ng open work permit. No, hindi naman siya misrepresentation. You can say na, oops, we feel na, meron kami mga ganyang cases, pero nauna yung applicant, yung nagland muna sa Canada. Ang suggestion namin dyan is mag-land muna sa Canada. Okay? And then, sabihin mo na we realize na kailangan pala nandito rin siya, blah, blah, blah. May pandemic, it would be best na magkakasama kami. May ganyan kaming card na pinlay. Ina-approve naman yung open work permit.
Okay. So sir, kapag gagawing reason, kasi lumalabas dito pala ginawang reason na home tie si
Yeah.
OW. So kung gagawin siya na pupunta si OWP ron, mas maganda makarating muna si
Yeah.
student.
Meron kami mga ganyan na open work permit yung hinire kami for open work permit kasi yung agent niya hindi kasama talaga sa package yung pag-apply ng spouse. So hindi namin client talaga initially. Pero may mga naging classmates siya nakasama yung spouse. so paano daw nangyari yon? So nire-refer sa amin. So in that case, ganun yung nagiging card na inaano namin, yung narrative. So of course, walang one formula that fits all, no? So we will determine that on a case-to-case basis. But yeah, pwede naman yun. Yun nga lang, mas challenging siya kesa kung sabay na kayong mag-apply.
Alright. Thank you, sir. Ayan, I think kay Clarence, sir, last question na to, guys, ha. What other healthcare jobs should I apply that will be geared to classification A or B, like medical secretary, which is in relation to my course in Prince?
Yeah, medical secretary will do. No? Ang suggestion ko is that marami kasing pwede, pero ang key point is visit nyo yung NOC website, yung sa HRSDC. You can find yung mga related occupations doon sa kinesiology. Makikita nyo kung regulated siya or hindi. So nandun yung lahat. No? Just visit yung NOC website. Search nyo yung kinesiology and then makikita nyo doon yung mga related occupations na nandoon din yung job classification. So that's the way to do it para sigurado pa. But medical secretary is one actually. Pinakamadali yun actually. Actually, yung mga naging PR namin sa BC, sa Prince George, except yung isa supervisor. Pero tatlo yung admin assistant. Graduate ng business management tsaka human resources. So yung si Sir Dennis, yung sample ko kanina, habang nag-aaral siya, nagpa-part-time siya as admin assistant. Right? Pagka-graduate niya, hinar siya as full-time admin assistant.
May student ka, sir, na di ba nagka-car salesman ngayon doon?
For PR na rin yun.
Ayun, nakita pinost natin yun eh.
Yeah.
Okay.
For PR na rin siya. Yung wife niya yung nag-aral.
Ay, okay.
Yung wife niya is supervisor din sa Shoppers Mart ba? Something. Supervisor din. Tapos siya, sales supervisor din siya doon sa car dealership.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Alright. So guys, we won't take any more question. Kasi nga medyo pakiusap ko lang tong talent fee ni Sir Apple.
Sakay. Thank you. We appreciate this.
Salamat, sir.
Mas magiging maganda yung transition kasi kapag informed yung mga applicants.
Okay.
Transition to PR. Yeah.
From Jen, when is the earliest time to apply for September 2022, May 2021? Submit na po kayo. Ma'am Jen. Si Ma'am Jen to eh. Ma'am Jen, okay. Di ba nasa ka na? PG. Alright. So yan. Sorry, we won't take any more questions. So first and foremost, Sir Apple, baka may final message ka lang for everyone.
Well, yeah. Ano lang is that laging kung magdi-decide kayo, dapat informed yung decision. And we are very open whether nasa Canada kayo, nasa Philippines, if you think we could be of help, then definitely, madali lang naman kaming makontak. gatewaytocanada.com. Book an appointment, read, and then, nandun lahat yung information. And thank you very much for this opportunity. I hope makatulong dun sa mga community natin sa Prince George.
Definitely, sir. And thank you for starting our community in Prince George. And even with our Facebook, your support to CNC and to everyone, I really, really appreciate it, sir. Sana makabawi ako soon sa'yo. Okay?
Sure. Pakapi ka lang.
So everyone, I hope you learned a lot. This is a unique webinar focusing on Prince George itself. So wag po kayong mag-alangan. To be honest with you, for me personally, wag niyo masyadong tipirin ang inyong plan to migrate to Canada kasi you need to think of the return. High investment, high return. Hindi naman sobrang mahal to kung tutuusin. Ang punto ko lang for me again, the reason I organized this with the help of Sir Apple is to professionalize your approach in migrating to Canada, ma-utilize yung opportunity and hindi masayang yung pag-aaral po ninyo abroad. Okay? So with that, without further ado, thank you again everyone and have a great day. Enjoy. Sir
All
Apple,
right.
thank
Thank you. Bye.